166. Let's get to the film, which is now on digital demand, purchase, rental, etc. Jeanne du Barry. Sorry if I said that name wrong. It's French. And it is directed and stars Maywin. Also stars Johnny Depp, Benjamin Laverne, Pierre Ricard, a few others. Not a huge cast. And the synopsis is, and sorry if I'm butchering these names, I'm sure I am, the life of Jeanne Bissou, who was born as the illegitimate daughter of an impoverished seamstress in 1743 and went on to rise through the court of Louis XV to become his last official mistress. Quite the synopsis there. So, this one made waves when it premiered at film festivals over the last year, and mainly because it was a return for Johnny Depp, who has mostly been out of acting work for a while, and he was in this big leading role, and it was a French movie as well, so that was another aspect to it. I didn't know anything about this woman, the titular character, at all. I knew some about Louis XV, but not much. So my main interest was definitely Johnny Depp. I've never heard either of the director and actor Maywin, but I'm also a big fan, for anyone who listens to the show regularly. I love history. I love period pieces. So this was definitely in my alley. I don't care if it's a romance or an epic, whatever. Like, it's in my sweet spot for sure. I know it got okay reviews. I don't think it got trashed, but I think that because it was Johnny Depp being put into this big role and being at a big film festivals and stuff, it definitely got a lot of hate just right off the bat. But for the film itself, I think overall it's not very good. I really, really wanted to like it. Two biggest issues by far, I think, first and foremost, and I have the patience of molasses. Like, I can sit and watch the slowest, most deliberately paced period piece and be completely engaged and compelled. That's not an issue for me at all. Whether it's just direction, the story itself, the writing, I don't know, but I really found this movie to be largely dull. There's just so little going on. I think that Maywin has no real edge at all to her performance. She just really feels like a completely average, run-of-the-day woman, which that's not a bad thing, but in terms of this being a feature film following this titular character, there needs to be something really, to me, more interesting, more complex, and there's really nothing to that character that I could really latch onto. And I know that she's, within the context of the movie, she is coming from very impoverished beginnings and then rising up. But not only that, and I hate to be critical of Johnny Depp performance-wise, because, again, I love him, I don't know why he was cast in this role. Because, just to get it out there, his performance is entirely in French. He's not playing a French character but speaking in a French accent and, speaking English. He's actually speaking fluent French. And I know that he lived in France for a while, and so I guess he got pretty good at it. But still, it's so distracting to see him where we know that he's not French. And it would be better if he was just speaking English, because even though he can speak it pretty well, it's still, not even being a French speaker myself, it still feels false. And I can tell that he's not actually French, especially compared to everybody else in the movie who I think is French. So that was my biggest frustration of all. I would rather have him just not been in this at all, and they had gotten someone else, a Frenchman, to play King Louis. Then even more so on top of that with Johnny Depp, I feel like with everything that's happened to him, and maybe it's just because he's on his way out acting wise, in his career, it just feels like his charisma is gone for the most part. Not totally, and I'll still watch really whatever he does, but I feel like he has, at this point, lost a lot of what made me and many other people love him. So, yeah, not a great movie, I think. Could have been a lot better. And overall, I just don't have a big interest in this mistress character. I just don't really find her that interesting. Maybe if I read a book about her or something, that'd be different. But I don't think there's a lot of story there, so I don't think the film even felt that warranted. If you like period films or if you're interested in French history, you could probably do worse. But I will say it looks very good. Cinematography, the locations, the interiors, these huge rooms and hallways and doors. So all the production stuff is strong for sure. I'm not trying to say it's a horrible movie in all respects, but the stuff that in the end really matters is not there for me. That is a 2 out of 5.